The money flow in crypto is completely broken. We see that altcoins are already in a bear market for the past 3 years. How are we ever gonna recover from that? Are we even gonna recover from that? That is what we're going to talk about in this video, so let's dive into it. Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome back here at Coin Compass. We're going to talk about the money flow in crypto that is completely broken. We see that alt liquidity has dried up. There is no alt season. Actually, the contrary. Altcoins are already in a bear market for nearly 3 years. So we're going to talk about this major problem in crypto and if we can ever recover from that. Now, I want to talk about the Bitcoin dominance first to show you that altcoins are already in a bear market since a long time. Let's have a look at this chart right here. We see that they are basically since this level when they hit 40% back in November 2022. Actually, it went like sideways more or less for a year. So November 2022, it reached 40% Bitcoin dominance. And since that time, it just went all the way up. And since March 2023, it is in this upwards channel right now, breaking out of that to the upside, which is actually horrible for altcoins. Altcoins keep on bleeding compared to Bitcoin. It's very insane. It's very surreal that we are in this stage of the cycle, which is supposed to be like the mania stage, which is supposed to be the parabolic stage, and we don't see mania. We don't see a parabolic stage at all. There is not even one alt season happened in the past 3 years, let's say. Here were a few good weeks back in November, but I was especially focused on AI agents, so that was the focus. But yeah, so something is wrong. Definitely, if I look at this chart, something is wrong, especially because its Bitcoin dominance keeps on going up at 65% right now. These are levels not seen anymore since January 2021. So really insane, to be honest, because, by the way, January 2021 was the beginning of last parabolic year, right? So maybe I hope we're coming at the same point. So this is the start of the parabolic year, but yeah, something is clearly wrong. And it's very sad to see, to be honest, for my altcoins that the Bitcoin dominance now broke out of this upwards channel. But to the upside, you would expect it to go down towards like 57% again. It would make sense. It would make a lot of sense, so especially because of where we are in the cycle. So yeah, we're gonna look at what is broken. So let's have a look at the crypto money flow. We see that normally, this is how it looks like, right? We see that fiat comes into crypto via Bitcoin usually. So people invest in Bitcoin, then people make profits with Bitcoin, and from that profits, they take a bit of profits, and then they take a bit more risk with these profits, and that actually flows towards the large caps. Same thing happens there. Large caps go up, people make a little bit of profits. They also tell their friends like, hey, I invested in this cryptocurrency. It went up, whatever, 3x or so. So more people are coming in. So more fiat is coming in towards Bitcoin, towards large caps. Sometimes fiat directly goes into large caps or even mid caps, especially during alt seasons when people are talking about it. But actually, this is the money flow. So Bitcoin and large caps, they make profits, flows towards mid caps, they make profits, more retail money coming in, then towards low caps, and then back to Bitcoin and back to fiat oftentimes. Now, this is broken. This is already broken for some time, and it was already clear to me for some time that it is broken. I talked about it last year. What is the main reason that this money flow is broken? The main reason for that, there's actually two reasons, but the main reason I think why it's not coming to altcoins is meme coins. Meme coins sucked out all the liquidity out of retail. Last year, of course, the only thing that was performing well in terms of altcoins was meme coins. But meme coins are designed that way that they are enriching just the people on the top. There is no value, so they go down eventually to zero. So the only people that benefit from all meme coins going up is, of course, a lucky few, but that's such a small percentage of retail money. But especially the people creating them, the market makers, the exchanges, etc., like the people behind the scenes who made this possible. So basically, the money flew from fiat directly to meme coins, and that money was lost. There were no profits. The money directly went back to the people on top of this pyramid. And these people on top of the pyramid, they put it back into fiat or in Bitcoin. They didn't let it flow towards like other altcoins. Why would they, right? So meme coins disturb this money flow. Definitely, 100% sure about that. But if we have a look at meme coins, then we see like, okay, it's only a market cap of $56 billion out of a total market cap in crypto of 3 trillion. So let's say it's around 6%, right? But the reason is, as I just said, the money flows into the hands of a few people and then it flows back to Bitcoin or to fiat. So it goes out of the market cap of meme coins eventually. It's basically a mechanism to simply extract value from retail investors. The retail investors lose faith in crypto, they go away, or they simply like gamble away everything on meme coins and they have no money to put into utility coins because maybe they don't understand it, maybe it goes too slow, maybe, I don't know, like I don't know what the reason is why people don't invest in utility coins anymore. But the fact is that it happens, right? The second major reason why this money flow right here is disturbed is because of ETFs. The Bitcoin ETFs, of course, are a really great thing for crypto. It was like the sign of, okay, crypto is not going away anymore. Bitcoin is here to stay. Crypto in general, like the big players are now involved. They're not going to fight it anymore. They're going to embrace it, right? What happened is that 6% of the Bitcoin supply got sucked up. The focus was on Bitcoin last year since the launch of the ETFs in January of last year, right? So 6% already are right now in Bitcoin ETFs. That means that money that flows from retail goes into these Bitcoin ETFs. So the Bitcoin is stuck in these ETFs. So money flows to ETFs, but ETFs are completely out of the ecosystem of crypto. So basically what happens is the money goes there, people make profits, but they don't do anything with the profits because it is stuck in a third party that is actually like managing it for them, right? Because it happens via traditional financial instruments, etc. It's not easy for people to get the money out of these ETFs, then put it on, for example, a Binance or whatever exchange, and then buy altcoins with it. It just does not happen. So the money is stuck there. And that is also a very major difference compared to last few cycles, because what happened was people invested fiat into Bitcoin on exchanges like Binance, Bybit, whatever. And then it was very easy to sell a little bit of this Bitcoin and immediately put it into like large caps, mid caps, low caps. People knew how to do that. Right now with ETFs, it's just not the case. It's outside of the crypto ecosystem and people don't do that. They don't even know how to do that probably because there's a reason why they invest in ETFs and not directly in Bitcoin themselves and hold it themselves. So these two reasons, meme coin and Bitcoin ETFs, are the main reasons why this is completely disturbed, why we're basically not seeing any altcoin action at all. Because let's go back to the Bitcoin dominance chart here. In the last, I'm not gonna count with you, but in the last 20 weeks, there's only been 2 weeks that were red for the Bitcoin dominance, meaning that altcoins outperformed Bitcoin. Only twice in 20 weeks, nearly half a year. And the last 10 weeks are all green for the Bitcoin dominance. So altcoins are bleeding, and already for 3 years. Now, something else I want to show you is another problem that we're currently seeing in the crypto space is VC funding. Because we can say like, okay, there is no money going to altcoins, there is no liquidity and so on. This is the best way to show you VC funding is actually very low right now. Look at these. Okay, so March was a pretty good month, but then April, February, January, December, and the months before that, VC funding into crypto startups is so extremely low. It is lower than most months in the cycle of 2017. I mean, in 2017, there was nothing in the crypto space. It was not even a decent industry, but still there was more liquidity to be invested by VCs into crypto startups than right now is the case. VCs are completely dried up. There is no liquidity. And this is not only the case for VCs, but this is also the case for retail investors. This is the case for everyone involved in the space. That's also why valuations of projects that are launching are going down, etc. Of course, this is a purge for the industry. Maybe it's not a bad thing, but it's the best proof the industry has a problem with liquidity, with the money flow. So yeah, I mean, this is not really good in my opinion, because also it stops like innovation, etc. So this is happening right now. How can we solve this problem? There is, in my opinion, a few ways that can trigger something that recovers, right? What we need is an external trigger that will make altcoins go up. in my opinion, the best trigger would be ETFs. There is some applications already for ETFs for like Solana and XRP and whatever. Of course, the Ethereum ETFs are already there, but they're not a big success. We need more. We need more individual ones. BNB has now some applications running as well. So yeah, I mean, ETFs are a good thing, but even ETFs are not performing very well, because the world's first XRP ETF already crashed 10% in the first week of trading. Of course, this is not a spot XRP ETF, so I cannot compare it too much, but it's a futures ETF. But still, like, the market is not very enthusiastic about it. But I think, like, if we would, for example, see an ETF, a basket of different cryptocurrencies, then that would be a really great thing to maybe make the focus go back to utility altcoins, to like large caps, and then maybe restore it that way, because the focus simply shifts there. So I think that is one of the things that can happen. And a second thing that could solve this is a really great alt season. And I'm not talking about like a few weeks of like a focus on whatever niche. No, a full-blown alt season. Something needs to trigger this. And if this happens for a few weeks, and let's say we go back to this level right here, we go back to 60%, that would be really great. That would be really, really great for restoring the liquidity, to restore the money flow, to restore the focus where it should be in our industry. But right now, it's simply not looking good. So I don't want to talk right now about like alt season, because we already had a few times a really great setup for an alt season to happen, but it always gets destroyed by some black swan events or like some external factors. So let's just wait and see. For now, it looks horrible, to be honest. Altcoins are bleeding already for 3 years. The only winners were a few people on top of the meme coin pyramid scheme, and the people investing in Bitcoin, but not the ones who invested in real utility of blockchain technology and some large caps. But I think our time will come. All right, guys, that is it for the video. I hope you found it interesting. If so, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to be subscribed to stay updated with everything crypto related. And I see you in the next video. Cheers. Bye-bye.